before the war, before the speeches, before millions of people feared his name, there was just a little boy. A quiet child born in a small Austrian town in 1889. If you saw him back then, you probably would have never guessed what he would become. But history had other plans. Adolf Hitler was born into a deeply dysfunctional family. His father, Alois, was a strict government officer with a terrible temper and an even worse reputation when it came to relationships. He cheated constantly, moved from woman to woman, and created chaos almost everywhere he went. Eventually, he married his own younger cousin, Clara. And unlike Alois, Clara adored her son. Before Adolf was born, several of her children had died in infancy. So when Adolf survived, she became extremely protective of him. To her, he wasn't just another child. He was the child. Inside the Hitler household, fear was normal. Alois ruled the house like a military camp. He shouted constantly, punished harshly, and demanded obedience. Young Adolf grew up terrified of his father, but emotionally attached to his mother. That split would shape much of his personality later in life. At school, Adolf actually performed well in his early years. Teachers described him as intelligent and confident. Other boys liked him too. He loved organizing games, pretending to command armies, and acting like the leader of the group. Even as a child, he wanted control. But things slowly changed. As Adolf grew older, he became more rebellious. He argued with teachers, ignored authority, and developed a habit of obsessing over big ideas: nationalism, identity, power. Then tragedy struck. His younger brother died from measles. And according to neighbors, Adolf was never quite the same afterward. People noticed strange behavior. He spent hours alone. He wandered cemeteries at night. He stared at the stars in silence. His grades collapsed. His relationship with his father became even more toxic. And at school, city students mocked him for being a rural outsider. The lonely, frustrated teenager began retreating into fantasy. Adolf's father wanted him to become a government official, a stable job, a respectable life. But Adolf hated the idea. He wanted to become an artist. The arguments became constant. One day, after another fight, Adolf reportedly declared, "I will never become a civil servant." For once, his father couldn't stop him. Not long after, Alois died. Suddenly, the strict authority figure dominating Adolf's life was gone. And with that freedom, Adolf completely abandoned school. No diploma, no career, no direction. Just dreams. At 18 years old, Adolf moved to Vienna with one goal: to get accepted into art school. This was his chance, his escape, the beginning of the life he imagined for himself. Then the results came back. Rejected. The academy said he lacked talent. That rejection crushed him. Soon after, his mother became seriously ill. He returned home to care for her during her final days. When she died, Hitler reportedly broke down completely. One doctor later said he had rarely seen someone so devastated by grief. Now Adolf was alone. No parents, no job, no future. Back in Vienna, reality hit hard. The young man who dreamed of becoming an artist ended up homeless. He slept in shelters, sold cheap paintings to survive, and drifted through the city with growing bitterness. And Vienna at that time was filled with political extremism, nationalists, racial propaganda, conspiracy theories, hatred toward minorities, especially Jews. Hitler absorbed all of it. Slowly, the frustrated failed artist began transforming into something darker. He started believing Germany had been weakened by enemies from within, and those beliefs would eventually consume him completely. Then came 1914. World War I exploded across Europe. For many young men, the war was terrifying. For Hitler, it felt like purpose. He volunteered immediately. For the first time in years, he finally felt like he belonged somewhere. The army gave him structure, brotherhood, identity. He served as a messenger on dangerous front lines and survived situations that should have killed him. To Hitler, war felt meaningful. Peace did not. Then Germany lost, and the defeat shattered him. While recovering in a hospital after a gas attack, Hitler learned that Germany had surrendered. The empire had collapsed. The economy was broken. Millions were starving. Many Germans were angry and humiliated. Hitler became obsessed with finding someone to blame. Instead of accepting military defeat, he embraced conspiracy theories claiming Germany had been betrayed from within. That anger became the foundation of everything that came next. And history would never recover from it.